Mary had a little lamb.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream.
Change has come to America.
Keep the faith.
This is going to be a disaster.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Hundreds of federal workers are out of a job, and thousands more are bracing for sweeping layoffs.
We have here rule of the bureaucracy as opposed to rule of the people.
Speaking virtually at a World Summit Thursday, Elon Musk, head of President Donald Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, said entire federal departments should be deleted.
If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back.
The long-term scope isn't clear, but CBS News has learned recent federal hires still on probationary status across several departments have received termination notices. Same for about 1,000 workers at the Department of Veterans Affairs as of yesterday. Democrats protested outside the VA.
9 million veterans are watching you give them the middle finger. And we're not going to stand for it.
U.S. officials have also confirmed that DOJ employees are examining the IRS, though yesterday President Trump told reporters he doesn't plan to close the agency.
I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else.
On a jam-packed Thursday that included meetings with India's prime minister, the president also signed an executive order directing his administration to look at imposing tariffs to match those that other countries put on U.S. goods. Critics warn it could hurt efforts to fight inflation.
Prices could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down.
The president argued those reciprocal tariffs would level the playing field for American workers.
Oh, well, happy Valentine's Day Massacre, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the day. Hope you are. There's no healthcare clinics in the South, so please have safe sex. Maybe you could take some of those, 50 million condoms that were sent to, Gaza? Is that the new conspiracy theory, or is that the old one from last week? Have we moved on now? I don't know. I can't keep up. Oh, woo! My head is spinning. So, today they fired over 200,000 people. And it's like some dystopian, Netflix series or something, like that series Severance, which is very slow and creepy. But it's kind of like that, where Neuralink puts a thing in your head that separates your work life from your personal life. That's kind of the premise of Severance. But this one is very, Big Brother Orwellian mixed with the Neuralink scenario, where the very young, new people who work in the Department of Education on things like special ed, because that's what MAGA voted for, right? When MAGA voted to drain the swamp, they totally meant go after special education. They totally meant that. They were all about getting rid of USAID too. Not that they knew what it was. But, now that it's happened, they're totally, that's what they meant when they said drain the swamp. They meant stop feeding hungry children, stop, winning hearts and minds across the world. So much so that, terrorist organizations copied us. Yes. Hamas actually wormed their way into the hearts and minds of the people of Gaza by building things like, schools and hospitals and health clinics, copying the United States MO to win hearts and minds around the world. It's, something called soft power, right? And if you use soft power, then you don't have to actually, bomb the hell out of people. It's just a theory. It's just a theory. It's done. It's over. It worked for 70 years. We're done now. We're done. We're moving on, draining the swamp. And we're draining the swamp of the VA. I know that's what those old white men meant when they voted for Trump. I know that's what they meant. When they said that the government was weaponized, they meant the Veterans Administration. That's what they meant. When they said drain the swamp, they said, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That actually, your phone will alert you to a transaction that doesn't seem like you. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe you only ever take out $100 at a time. Maybe you take less. Maybe you take 50. Okay, I do $100 at a time, and it, it's usually my cash for things like tips, like that. And if I take out anything more than $100 in cash for tips, my little phone will actually say, here's a notification from your bank, and this does not look like something you would do. This does not. There looks like there was a check or a withdrawal for over $1,000. Was that you? And if you say no, then all of a sudden you don't have to pay for it. You're protected because you said, no, that was not me. Now, you will have to actually suffer through not having your debit card for a little while they send you a new one, but you don't have to pay. See, that's kind of like the job of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So I know that when Elon Musk said that America voted to delete the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, he was telling the truth. Most people want to pay for that fraud that happens on their bank account. Most people would love to be without government and pay the fraudulent charge. Yes, that's what they meant when they voted for that, right? And of course, this is a no-brainer. I know that this is what MAGA meant. I know it was. When they voted for Donald Trump, they meant to get rid of the board at the Kennedy Center Honors. They meant to get rid of the board of directors at the Kennedy Center, where one of my most favorite pieces of music, one of my most favorite live performances ever occurred on that stage. It was when Led Zeppelin was being honored by the Kennedy Center. Barack Obama chose to honor Led Zeppelin. The president gets to choose. And he chose to honor Led Zeppelin. And my Heart actually was selected to play Stairway to Heaven in front of Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, in front of Led Zeppelin, live on the stage to honor Led Zeppelin at the Kennedy Center Honors. And I know that's what pissed off MAGA so bad that they just had to vote for Donald Trump. And I know that they voted to get rid of the board at Kennedy Center because of that performance, because that was so just woke or something. I don't know. It could be it, right? You have two women fronting a very, heavy, I will say heavy Led Zeppelin, if you consider Led Zeppelin heavy metal. Then you have Ann and Nancy fronting a very, very, very heavy metal band, which is just too woke. So I know when they voted to replace the board of directors at Kennedy Center so that Donald Trump could appoint himself chairman of the board of the Kennedy Center. I know that's what they meant. And I know that is how you get rid of waste and fraud. I know it. And obviously they voted to get rid of privacy protections, right? They voted to get Elon Musk, seriously, you know that this is what they voted for. They said this is what they voted for. They voted to get Elon Musk inside our government, not with forensic accountants or any kind of accountants, but with 19-year-old coders who write code into the system, right? In the name of beating back waste and fraud. I don't know. That's what they voted for, so that Elon Musk could undo what only Congress can do or undo. I know that's what they meant. They meant fraud. They meant they wanted a guy who had live investigations referring to his $20 billion worth of waste and fraud. Elon Musk does have $20 billion worth of government funding, taxpayer funding, $20 billion worth of taxpayer funding that was being overseen and looked at and questioned by the IRS, tax breaks, the FDA, Neuralink, EPA, SpaceX. It's so interesting that Elon Musk can blow up 19 of 20 rockets and still get government backing, where if NASA did that, I don't think so.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, The Randi Rhodes Show.
Now, Elon Musk says that he could find, Mr. Secretary, as much as $1 trillion in savings with the waste, fraud, and abuse that's littered throughout our government, and that itself could bring down inflation, perhaps. Your view on that?
I'm in complete alignment with Elon on this, and I think you and I are roughly the same age. You're wearing it better.
Thank you. Thanks.
But in our adult life, we've seen the Grace Commission in the 80s failed. We've seen President Clinton and Vice President Gore had the Reduction of Government Commission failed. President Trump is not going to fail this time. And with the Doge Commission, we are going to see real reductions. And we're going to see accountability. We're going to see traceability. And that Washington's not used to this.
No, Washington is used to Congress appropriating or not appropriating money for the Department of Education or for the Department of Justice or for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or for public safety or for drug interdiction. I mean, Congress does that work, not Elon Musk, not even close. I mean, how did we even get here from there? How did we even get from Congress has the power of the purse to know Elon does? What? I mean, you're watching a literal theft. I mean, this is the most amazing thing in the world happening right in front of your face, and people are saying, yeah, that's what we voted for. I don't know who these people are, but okay, you're going to get it. You're going to get exactly that. You're going to get one man literally deleting the Department of Education, which, by the way, just so you know, doesn't do one thing, not one thing on curriculum. I mean, the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., for whom Linda McMahon was, totally built, right? She, the wrestling career and the business that her and her husband Vince ran totally qualifies her to be the Secretary of Education. And before her, the Amway family, Betsy DeVos. I mean, of course, they are completely the best and the brightest for the Department of Education. They know everything about special ed. They know everything about, how to accommodate all students in a public setting, how to feed kids who have no breakfast at home or have no lunch that they bring. They know everything about it. They know all about it. These are the best people for the Department of Education. Well, I just want you to know, they don't do one thing on curriculum, not one damn thing. That curriculum and what is taught in your schools, that is totally controlled locally by your local board of education. And that for the most part, education is, done in the states and then uber locally. The feds, what they do is they oversee the trillions of dollars that go in the student loan program. That's one of the big things that the Department of Education is responsible for, making sure that those loans go out and get paid back or get forgiven based on the rules that Congress sets for loan forgiveness. Okay. And people were all outraged. Outraged, I tell you, when Joe Biden said he was going to forgive loans that had been paid on for 20 years but still weren't paid off. He's usurping Congress. How dare he do that? Well, Elon's just done all of that for the entire Department of Education, which also provides states and locals with 14% of their budget. That's it. They send money. They don't dictate. They send money. And Elon's going to get rid of that for you. Today, we were watching the Board of Education. We were watching some of the young staff who they've been there for 1 year, just under 2, but they were special ed specialists, and they were all fired today by a guy that looked like Big Brother on a TV screen. And one of the special ed, analysts and administrators actually said, "Should I finish my work?" And Big Brother said, "No." No. And that was the end of her, master's degree career that she decided to, devote to us and our, kids. So we won't be missing her, will we? I love the poorly educated. All right, Frank in Idaho.
Yeah, might as well talk about your Department of Education. You're just talking about it. They're a failed department.
It's what?
It's a failed department. They haven't lived up to their job at all.
They don't educate kids. They send money.
That's right. They don't educate kids, and that's what they should
No,
do.
local. Your local school.
Kids.
Your local school educates your kids. Your local school.
Yeah, but the thing is,
state,
they want to tie.
The state of Idaho educates your kids.
Yeah, but we got these guys pulling strings, telling
they
the
don't
schools
tell
what
you
to
anything.
do.
They don't tell your schools.
Yeah,
what
they
to
do.
No,
they
they
say
don't.
if you don't have transgenders in the classroom, then they ain't going to give the money.
Now, why do you think that?
Well, because they said they would not give people money that didn't let men in women's bathrooms.
Tell me who said that at the
The
Department of
Education.
Who?
And Biden.
Who said that?
I just told you the Department of Education.
They did not say that.
They're a failed deal. They're a waste of money.
So
they should be returned to the states totally.
Are you telling me
we don't need them in our business?
Are you telling me that you're willing to do without 14% of your education budget? Because that's what they do.
Yeah. I'd rather have that than have them tell me counsel me out or tell me I can talk.
Okay, fair enough. Because we all know that kids in 1st through 5th grade, they have sexual, I don't know, identities.
Why teach 5-year-olds about sex?
They don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. Why do you think that?
Gay prayer hour at the elementary school.
They don't have any of that.
What? What kind of law do you live under?
What are you watching? Libs of TikTok with the actors?
No, I watch CNN, MSNBC, Fox, and Newsmax.
Where do you see that happening? Where do you see that 5-year-olds are being taught anything about
in California? Yeah, they talk about sex ed and be a bunch of different genders.
Frank,
you don't teach that to no kids.
We don't. That's right. That's the first right thing
You're
you
not
said.
supposed to.
We don't teach that to kids.
Why are they
You're
wasting budgets on that?
We don't.
Why are we wasting money on that? They're a failed department. They need to go.
We don't, Frank. We don't spend money on that, and it's really.
So why waste billions on them people?
What? We don't.
Just to keep them hired?
We don't.
Failure. We're number 40th out of 40 educational systems in the world.
Idaho.
The whole United States.
Well, it's locally. It's locally education.
Then what do we need the Department of Education
Frank,
for if it's local?
I keep asking you why you think that this is happening, and you just
because it is happening. I can see with my own eyes.
Where do you see it?
What do you mean? Where do I see?
Where
it?
do you see
the education system? They're last. They're last. The UN report. They said we're last in the world.
No, Mississippi is last. Okay, and
no,
Alabama
the United States
is
last.
No, Arkansas, Mississippi, the southern states have such bad results. Okay, and it's all done locally. So the answer in Mississippi was to put up the 10 Commandments. That'll do it. And they spent money on putting up the 10 Commandments in Mississippi. That's what's happening. I don't think any kid from K through, I'm going to say 6th grade is being taught anything about sex.
Call in, connect. To speak to Randy, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
All right, everybody, it is the Valentine's Day Massacre edition of the Randi Rhodes Show here on Free Speech TV, where we want to ask you today to show us the love. Because we are, obviously the movement. We are the pushback. We are the guardrails. It is where we are. It's what we have to do. And, besides for your states and your governors and your state AGs fighting back in the courts, the next best thing is a societal pushback saying, no, idiot boy in Idaho has got it wrong. And that, Elon Musk has absolutely no authority to get rid of anything in our system of government. Like nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who is Elon Musk to decide what's going on in your schoolroom? Who is Elon Musk to decide what's going on in your Justice Department? Or who is Elon Musk to decide to get rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is protecting you from Elon Musk, right? I mean, so today is a very brief ask. Just one day is all we're going to do. independent media like us are fueling the pushback. You know that's true. We are the resistance. We are absolutely trying to get people organized around the idea that we're part of a hostile takeover of our government by outsiders who don't belong inside our government, looking at classified information, looking at anything at all, and then posting it on ridiculous, fan sites. I mean, it's just, it's unacceptable. So if you could become a monthly member today to Free Speech TV, and it doesn't matter how much. I mean, it could be $5 a month. I will tell you that anything over $17, though, we'll send you a fabulous little thank you gift, a mystery box of goodies. If you can do $17 a month, that would be excellent. But anything at all, little as $5 a month, you keep us rolling along. You keep us on the air. You keep us going. And we don't even know like what the legal landscape is going to look like going forward for all the nonprofits, but we are one of them. And so anything that you could do to help would be totally appreciated. Visit us at freespeech.org/donate or just freespeech.org. It'll take you where you need to go. You could call, if you like the phone, 877-378-8669. That'll get you through. Or use your phone and text to 44321, the letters FSTV, and we will send you a secure link. Well, at least it's secure now. It's secure until Elon decides that you don't deserve to be secure in your banking, by getting rid of things like the CFPB. And then it won't be secure. But it is right now. So please do use it. And thank you very, very much. All right. So I was wondering, where did he get his info from, Mr. Idaho there? You live near Bucks Peak or something? Do you think there's an Illuminati? Because I think you do. I think you do, Frank. But he got his "we're dead last in education" from Donald Trump, who's been running around saying that we're 40th. I don't know why Frank had to make it 50th, but Trump is saying we're 40th based on nothing, based on absolutely nothing. When it comes to the world's rankings for U.S. education, we're fourth. We're fourth. We could be number one, but, we're fourth. So that's the nation's report card. This is the world in which we toil now. There's so much misinformation and disinformation and fake accounts and accounts with actors and a laser focus on 0.2% of our population. But Frank, I just want to tell you this. Public schools are exactly that. They're public schools. And any kid that shows up with any disability, whether you consider, some kindergartner to have a disability at 5 years old because you think they might think that they are transgendered. I've never seen that. I've never have. But okay. It could happen. But guess what? Public schools accept all children, all comers, all kids. We don't discriminate and say that kid doesn't deserve an education. Now, when you privatize schools, which is what, Miss McMahon is going to do, then you will not be able to send your kid freely to school. You will have to be somebody who can afford to send your kid to school, and that's what you're voting for. You're voting for only the elite to be able to afford to send their kids to school. And something tells me you wouldn't be able to have afforded the ability to send any of your spawn to school if you had to pay for it. And in the near future, if they have their way, you will have to pay for school. You will have to pay for school. And, this is what Bernie Sanders is trying to say, right?
We're looking at, if the Republicans get their way, massive cuts to education. And I should also say that the people who are trying to privatize Social Security, privatize Medicare, privatize Medicaid, privatize the Veterans Administration are precisely the same people who are trying to privatize public education in America. We must not allow that to happen. In America, we must not allow our educational system to become a two-tier system. A system which says that if you have the money, you're going to get help from the federal government, you're going to get a voucher to send your kid to a school that may cost $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Good luck.
While the public schools will end up being segregated not just by race, but by class. Most families in America do not have $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year to send their kids to private schools. And it's absurd to provide public money to make that possible. Our job is not to take away money from public schools to give it to private schools. It is to strengthen public education in America.
He loves the poorly educated, this president does, and he loves to trash talk his own country. He loves to do it. So he made us, like the worst in education, which is totally unrelated to reality, and then told Frank to cut his nose off to spite his face. Literally. Vote so that 0.2% of the population who might enter into a public school should be able to be turned away and discriminated against. And I even asked him, are you willing to forego 14% of what it costs to educate your kids in Idaho? And he said yes. And I said, fair enough. But that is who he is. That is what, the MAGA people are. It's what they would rather die than see somebody that they are uncomfortable with get anything at all. They would rather go without Medicare. They would rather go without, food stamps. They would rather go without their Social Security check than see somebody they don't like get Medicare, Medicaid, or a Social Security check. That's their position. They're sticking to it. And, good luck to you. Me, I'm going to push back. Me, I'm going to say Congress only gets to make those decisions. I'm going to say if the president doesn't like the decisions that Congress makes, he can veto something. But Elon Musk is nobody and nothing. And he has no authority to do any of the things he's doing. He's got zero. He's not even an American, okay? He's a South African, apartheid-loving, richest guy in the world. And he's going to delete the Justice Department. He's going to delete the Department of Education. He's going to delete the Veterans Administration. He's going to delete USAID. He's going to delete the IRS. Okay.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
There must be a better way than Elon Musk. Oh, wait, there is.
This year, we, Democrats and Republicans alike, were given the opportunity and the responsibility to finish the job of balancing the budget for the first time in almost 30 years, and to do it in a way that prepares Americans to enter the next century stronger than ever. By large, bipartisan majorities in both houses, we have risen to that challenge. The balanced budget I signed into law today will continue our successful economic strategy. It reflects the most fundamental values that brought us together. It will spur growth and spread opportunity. Even after we pay for tax cuts penny by penny, there will still be $900 billion in savings, including $500 billion in entitlement savings over the next 10 years. It opens the doors of college to a new generation with the largest investment in higher education since the GI Bill 50 years ago. It makes it possible for the 13th and 14th years of college to become as universal as high school is today. It strengthens our families with the largest expansion in health care for children since the Medicaid program 32 years ago. It modernizes Medicare and extends the life of the trust fund for a decade. It helps our communities to rebuild, to move 1 million more people from welfare to work, to bring the spark of private enterprise back to our most isolated inner city neighborhoods. It provides the largest tax relief to help families raise their children, save for the future, and pass on their home and a dream to the next generation. These tax cuts are the equivalent of a $1,000 raise in take-home pay for the average family with 2 children.
30 years ago. I am a beneficiary of that president's balanced budget and investment. That's right. There is a better way. We had a balanced budget. We had an expanding economy. We had an investment in children's health insurance. And for this, Hillary Clinton was mocked. It's like, well, nobody elected her. Oh, look at you now. Look at you now. Elon's just fine. It's just okay. He's going to delete everything because, he didn't send accountants in there. No, he sent coders in there, which is what you want when you're trying to balance the books. You want coders, not accountants. You don't want forensic accountants. You don't want, you want 19-year-old snot-nosed coders who have some sort of a disgust, a distaste for people like me who grew up in an era where the government was on your side and was helping you get through this by investing in your hopes and dreams. But now these people can't figure out anything to do. They don't know what to do about anything. So just get rid of it all with a guy who has no authority to do any of it. And, but Hillary Clinton, no, she can't do the children's health insurance plan. Who is she to come up with policy? Who is she? And the children's health insurance plan actually insures hundreds of millions of families now, their children. Medicare, it is preserved. It was preserved president to president. Seems like everybody seemed to find a way. Now, like I said, if Elon Musk is looking for fraud in Medicare, if he's looking for, how that happens, he should go over and talk to my senator, Bill Nelson, God help us. Bill Nelson's at NASA. Poor Bill Nelson. He's at NASA with Elon. But no, Rick Scott. He should go talk to Rick Scott, the senator from Florida, the other senator from Florida. Marco Rubio is now he's Secretary of State, watching communism be heralded by the likes of J.D. Vance at the Munich conference, saying, "Oh, listen, Russia's great. Russia's great." Can you imagine Marco Rubio, a Cuban immigrant to this country, saying that communism is just freaking fabulous? Not that Putin's a communist. He's an oligarch. He's an autocrat. Okay, communism's too messy for him. He just likes killing people and taking his vig. That's it. That's what his whole thing's about. But I mean, it's just so amazing. It's just so amazing that we actually had a president who paved the way for me to own a house. In fact, it was the very next year. The very next year. That was 1997 over there. The very next year, I was able to buy my very first house for the low bargain basement price of $98,000. Yep. Now, when Ronald Reagan was president, that was not an available thing to the generation before me. No, we had, when we were coming up with the generation before me that voted for Ronald Reagan, suffering through that, people like me had to join the military. We had to join the military if we wanted to do anything at all, if our parents didn't have money, if we wanted an education, if we wanted to learn a trade, whatever. We had to join the military. So that's what I did. But then my generation, when I came into, home ownership age, we had Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton made it so that there wasn't an 18% interest rate on mortgages, which there was under Ronald Reagan. Hence, you have to join the military to get housing, But when Bill Clinton came along, all of a sudden we had a balanced budget. We had investments. Do you want to hear something really crazy? Bill Clinton literally stared into the future. You talk about, these putzes that say, well, I read Robert Heinlein and I read Orwell and and now I make virtual reality weapons and I got a $22 billion government grant to do it. Really? After they tried Oculus, after they tried it, they said, ooh, this is really good. This is so good. I'm going to give you $22 billion to do more of it. I don't think so. I don't know. But anyway, Bill Clinton looked in the future and he saw what it was. Do you know that when Bill Clinton became president, there were only 50 websites on the internet? Do you know that?
Good morning.
Hi.
Earlier this week, we launched a new and improved White House website at www.whitehouse.gov.
Oh.
Today, I want to talk a little about the website and about our other efforts to use technology to bring government closer to the people.
Yeah.
I'm proud to have been the president who brought the White House into the digital age. When I became president, there were just 50 websites on the World Wide Web.
Oh, my God.
Now there are 17 million.
I guess he knew what he was doing a little bit. Think he did? More than Elon, maybe? I think he did. Now, do I agree with everything Bill Clinton did? Hell no. Especially when it came to my industry. He destroyed it. But you got to give him cred. He solved a lot of budget battles. He solved a lot of, imbalances, like deficits and debt and interest payments on therein, And he said, there's got to be a better way. And, lo and behold, there was. But you people, you don't believe in democracy anymore. You don't believe that there's a way to fix what may be broken. No, you want some unelected scum doge in there, some doge bag to delete things like the Department of Education. Okay. Good luck to you there in Idaho. Good luck to you in Mississippi. Good luck to you in Alabama, because I just wonder what's going to happen when your check doesn't come. It's almost, it would be, you're going to like this, Brett. It would be almost worth the Schadenfreude to see it when their check doesn't come, but I don't really get off on other people's pain. It's not, tried it, not for me. If it's for you, if it floats your boat, I can suggest some websites, but it's not for me. It's not for me. I don't take pleasure in watching people suffer.
When it comes to MAGA and Patrick Mahomes,
no.
I'm going to revel in the Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll in it yeah.
Right. Okay, like I said, not for everybody, not for me. For you, okay. No judgment. I'm not a judgy creature.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But honestly, it would almost be worth it to see them go to the mailbox or to see them log on to their bank account, which thank God for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. You can now get your Social Security check direct deposited. Elon has that information, by the way, Frank. So if something goes wrong, call him. Because, before he did away with, or before we do away with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in toto, I just want you to understand that the protection from fraud, the banking fraud, and the stealing of your check comes from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. You can thank Elizabeth Warren for that particular protection against fraud in your bank account. But you can call Elon going forward if your check doesn't appear, and he'll tell you, oh no, it's not coming anymore. Or he'll tell you, go complain to somebody else. I don't care. I don't know which, and it would almost be worth it, except no.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Keep the faith. This is going to be a disaster.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Okay, everybody, we're going to go into the Wayback Machine right now. This is 1996. There is a reason that you need to hear this.
It gives me great pleasure today to sign into law the line item veto. This is a bipartisan achievement that has been long sought by presidents, long supported by members of Congress and by governors. It will help us to cut waste and to balance the budget. For years, presidents of both parties have pounded this very desk in frustration at having to sign necessary legislation that contained special interest boondoggles, tax loopholes, and pure pork. The line item veto will give us a chance to change that, to permit presidents to better represent the public interest by cutting waste, protecting taxpayers, and balancing the budget. We all know that this is needed because too often, as vital bills move through Congress, they can become clogged with items that would never pass on their own. Presidents often have no choice but to sign these bills because of their main purpose. This new law will give the president the power to cancel specific spending items and specific tax loopholes that benefit special interests. These proposals can then be debated and subject to an open vote on the floor of Congress. A fresh air of public accountability will blow through the federal budget. This law gives the president tools to cut wasteful spending, and even more important, it empowers our citizens. For the exercise of this veto, or even the possibility of its exercise, will throw a spotlight of public scrutiny onto the darkest corners of the federal budget.
The line item veto. What an idea. So, wait, we don't need Elon Musk to delete entire... Why don't we just use the line... Oh, that's right. It was declared unconstitutional. Do you know that? We had the problem solved in 1996. Bill Clinton understood what needed to happen here. He understood that lobbyists and special interests and pork projects and things that, senators and House members were bringing back to their districts that the taxpayers were getting saddled with paying for, some of those projects didn't make any damn sense. Some of those projects were actual corruption. Some of those projects were absolutely insufferable projects, and giving a president the line item veto, meaning he could take a pork project out of an omnibus budget bill and send it back to Congress so Congress could vote on its existence separately, was declared an unconstitutional use of power that the president does not have. Only Congress can appropriate money or not appropriate money. The president can only veto the entire omnibus budget bill or live with the junk that's in it. But now, saying the line item veto is too much power for a president and that power only belongs with Congress is totally, totally stupid, right? Now Elon Musk can do it. Now a president of the United States can do it. He can do whatever he wants. Whatever Congress voted and appropriated, whatever Congress, you have 435 members of the House, you got 100 senators, and then you got a president, and everybody has to agree in a majority that this is what they want to spend money on. And, if anybody doesn't, isn't part of that group, then screw them. But now we have Elon Musk being given all the power. And you got idiots saying, that's fine. That's fine. There are a lot of things that could be done about a lot of things. If you only had the ability to think your way out of a paper bag. Unfortunately, now in this era, not only do you have to say what I'm saying, not only do you have to show what I'm showing, not only do you have to know what I know, but you also have to fight the algorithm to get that message out there. You have to fight the freaking algorithm, which is designed to suppress the truth, which is designed to give more power to people who were unelected, to give more power to a minority in this country. Now, we've had lots of tricks. We've had gerrymandering. We have voter suppression. We have all kinds of tricks to take power away from the ordinary people, the little people. But this one I've never seen before. I've seen, I remember the day that we had the line. I've been referring back to the line item veto. That's why I wanted to go back in my archives and get you that, because I remember that fight. Bill Clinton was trying to balance the budget, and he needed a line item veto. And they voted for one. They gave him that power. Congress literally gave it to him. And the Supreme Court took it away. And now we're sitting here wondering if the Supreme Court will allow an unelected South African tech bro who lives off the teat of the United States pork barrel projects to decide what you get and what you don't get unilaterally. We're actually here. We got here. Only took 30 years, but here we are. And you have people going, yes. What kind of a person are you? What kind of an American are you? What do you know about balancing a budget? What do you know about 350 million people What do you know? How many people does it take to support 350 million people? Do you realize that in this country today, when Bill Clinton gave that speech I played just before the top of the hour, and he was telling you that there were 50 websites when he first became president in 1992, and now he says there's 17 million. Do you know how many there are today? 1.1 billion. There are 1.1 billion websites. And let Elon run them all. Let him control all the mess. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Oh, Mr. Superintendent, you have a whore in your building.
Janet Rossi.
Janice Rossi. Get your own damn man. Yeah, that's pretty much what Elon sounds like in his off time. It's just like amazing. Amazing to me that people are willing to say, oh, hell, okay. Because they think it's so out of control. It's so out of control that you might have a child that man would kick. He hated that child so much. Or at least slap and tell that child they're not welcome in the school. And to get even with that child, he would allow Elon Musk to delete the Board of Education. It stuns me. It really does. It really stuns me. But you have a president. You know what Elon Musk got this week? You know what he got? Not only does he have $20 billion in contracts and grants and tax subsidies, they pay him up front, and tax breaks and all kinds of things available to him that, we've given to him. But today I found out, or actually yesterday, I think I found out that he got a $400 million Department of Defense contract to sell that hideous freaking piece of dumpster fire metal that he calls the Cybertruck to the Department of Defense. What? That thing is so flimsy, like the doors fall off. And I know this because there's so many maggots down here with money. I see them all over the freaking place. And they're like made of aluminum, which, by the way, is being tariffed. So the $80,000 price tag on that, add another 22% to that. So now what are you up to, add another $1,600, $96,000. Sure. Bring it on. Have you ever been inside one of those tin cans? One of those garbage things? It's sparse, baby. There ain't no luxury in there. There's nothing. But he got a $400 million contract to sell what no one will buy, except in Florida. No one will buy that truck. No one. No one's buying that truck. So he had excess inventory, and he sold it to the military. In the name of what? Combating waste?
On TV.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
All right, everybody. Don't forget it's Valentine's Day, and love and justice go hand in hand. Yes, they do. Love, justice, respect, independence. It's all being celebrated today on Valentine's Day, and we're celebrating it here at Free Speech TV, okay? And we're begging you, seriously, to help us stay afloat, to help us combat all of this assault on our way of life. This is a democracy. Congress appropriates the money. Elon Musk does not. The president can veto anything he doesn't like. That's our system. That's how it works. It doesn't work any other way. And you have to actually have it this way so that there is oversight, so that there is protection from people who want to encroach on our way of life and take it away. Now, women's rights have been decimated. I don't even know if you know this story or not. But women's rights, as you know, have been overturned based on nothing, based on just a whim that the Supreme Court had, even though they perjured themselves too. Remember? We think that Roe v. Wade is settled law. Kavanaugh, Roe v. Wade is precedent on precedent because you had Roe and you had Casey. See? So it's settled law. We'll never change it. We have no ability to change it because it's precedent on precedent. And then they changed it. and took rights away for the first time in my adult life. For the first time I ever lived through people taking rights away. This whole thing, this whole experiment has been forgiving people rights, expanding people's rights. Now, sometimes people get freaked out about who's getting rights. What do you mean they're getting rights? Yeah, but that's the more perfect union thing that we got going on. So anyway, there was a doctor who was based in New York who had been inundated with requests from women in other states that have banned any reproductive care, any. And a doctor in New York was helping some women by sending mifepristone to them. And the states, Alabama and Texas, want to charge this doctor with a criminal offense. Criminal. And in order to do that, they need New York State Governor Kathy Hochul to extradite this doctor. And Kathy Hochul said, no way. That is not happening. We are not going to send you one of our licensed doctors who cares so much about women's ability to make choices early, like 48 hours into their pregnancy. You can't get much faster than that. And so she's refusing to extradite. You see, this is the fight we're in. This is what we're in. And, look, we know exactly what needs to happen. And you can start to see some of the resistance happening. You can see some of the guardrails going up. You can see attorneys general in the United States, in blue states, forming, class action lawsuits against Elon Musk's destruction of our government. You can see constitutional arguments being made right now that say this president has no ability to destroy any, let alone his handpicked, puppet man, or what? Who knows who's pulling whose string? But I think, Donald Trump wants Elon to be the face of it, right? So that when the crap hits the fan, he goes, I didn't do it. He did it. He did it, like kids, like children. It's how they're treating our lives in our country, like little tiny toddlers. It's sad. It's sick. But anyway, that's what we're here for. We're here to let you know that you're not alone. Even though the algorithm is trying to make you feel like you are alone. The algorithm is sicking bots on you, sicking maggots on you, sicking people on you. Every time you push back. This is not the place to fight the fight. Although it doesn't hurt. It's, I do it too. But the place to fight the fight is going to be in blue states with governors refusing to extradite doctors, with AGs in blue states bringing cases that say this is extra constitutional, meaning it's outside the constitutional order of things, with people actually saying, pull the plug on this guy. This guy does not belong inside the government, nor do his coders. These are not forensic accountants, and people are so stupid they don't know the difference. That's why we're here, so people will know the difference. And then they're going to have that cognitive dissonance in their head. They're going to have to fight with themselves about, should I believe that we're last in education because Donald said so? Or should I believe the facts that we're not? Should I believe that Elon Musk has some sort of a right to do what he's doing inside the government? Or should I know as an American citizen that he's not? That's why we're here. So if you can support it, please do now, because this is where we are. This is the moment. Okay, this is it. This is the Project 2025 is here. It's happening, and we don't need to let it happen. We don't need to sit idly by while people pee all over us and tell us it's raining. You don't get to destroy democracy without a fight in this here country. And there's lots of ways to fight, and I've always found that information was the coin of the realm. You talk about, the he who has the gold makes the rule. You've got the gold. The gold is the knowledge. The gold is the information. To watch these New York, you see all these prosecutors at SDNY, which was always considered the most independent of the U.S. Attorney's Office, okay, which was always seen as the gem of independence in our justice system, SDNY. And you're watching all of these prosecutors resign because Donald Trump entered into a quid pro quo. Remember that? Quid pro quo, this for that, with Eric Adams, a Democrat, a Democratic mayor of New York. Donald Trump doesn't like his immigration results. He's not finding criminals because there aren't any that aren't in jail. And so he's not able to do the thing that you voted for him to do, and that was make it so you never had to listen to another language be spoken anywhere in your country. Not German, not Irish. Oh, yeah, that. No. Well, he's not finding what he needs to be, what he needs to find. And also, you got governors that are pushing back, and they're not, turning over their people. And so Donald Trump made a deal with a corrupt governor, a Democratic governor. I don't know why Democrats have no problem admitting that when their representatives, when their senator, Bob Menendez, or when their mayor, Eric Adams, takes a bribe. We don't have a problem with Rod Blagojevich, Democratic governor of Illinois, had no problem saying he sold a Senate seat, bye-bye, go to the who's gal. But Donald Trump goes and finds these Democrats who have been very undemocratic, and he pardons them and enters into quid pro quo and says to Eric Adams, I can make all your troubles, your prosecution for bribery, go away, but you're going to give me people. You're going to turn over people.
Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
The case against the mayor of America's largest city, who has pleaded not guilty to charges he traded official favors for luxury travel and gifts, is sparking a crisis inside the Department of Justice. On Monday, Trump-aligned leaders of the department instructed their top prosecutor in Manhattan to drop Mayor Eric Adams' case, arguing in part it would interfere with Adams' ability to help Trump's immigration enforcement efforts. But that prosecutor, Danielle Sassoon, resigned in protest instead. Sassoon, a 38-year-old attorney who once clerked for conservative Justice Antonin Scalia, had taken over the top position in Manhattan just weeks ago. In a blistering letter to the Attorney General obtained by CBS News, Sassoon says she was baffled by the rushed and superficial process by which the decision to drop the case against Adams was reached, and says she'd been preparing even more charges against Adams, alleging he also destroyed evidence. She also alleges Adams' attorney recently offered the Department of Justice a quid pro quo that if the feds dropped the case, Adams would help the Trump administration with immigration enforcement. Allegations Adams' attorney denied to CBS News, saying the idea that there was a quid pro quo is a total lie.
This is an enormous showdown of epic proportions.
CBS News legal contributor Caroline Polisi.
We'll see how many other prosecutors agree with Sassoon or whether or not Trump can find loyal supporters that will essentially just do his bidding.
When Sassoon resigned, the Department of Justice then turned to two leaders in Washington with the Public Integrity Section and in the Criminal Division to dismiss the case against Adams, but they resigned as well. Yesterday, Trump denied any involvement in the effort.
Did you personally request the Justice Department to drop that case?
No, I didn't. Know nothing about it.
Escalating this battle even further, the Deputy Attorney General sent Sassoon a letter saying the line prosecutors who worked with her on the Adams case will be placed on administrative leave, and that her conduct, which he called insubordination, is now under investigation.
So that sounds like weaponization of a Department of Justice office, doesn't it? It sounds like weaponization, because here you have a conservative lawyer, okay, a conservative lead prosecutor who clerked for Antonin Scalia. Can you get any more conservative than Antonin Scalia? Well, yeah, you can go to Clarence Thomas territory. Also, a bribe-taking SOB. But okay, let's keep it at Antonin. She's a conservative working inside SDNY. She has had two witnesses already confess to the scheme already, drop a dime on Eric Adams. This is a completely prosecutable case. She knows she can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Prosecutors don't bring cases unless they think they can bring it beyond a reasonable doubt. And after she refused to drop the case, Emil Bove, who was Donald Trump's personal attorney, that's his personal attorney, said to her, "You're insubordinate. I'm telling you to drop the case," because Pam Bondi told him to tell her to drop the case. Now, why would you have, just wondering aloud here, why would you have a beef with SDNY when we know that the cases that SDNY prosecutes have been in the majority against Democrats? You do understand that SDNY prosecuted Senator Bob Menendez, the Democrat from New Jersey, for bribery and for having gold bars in his freaking freezer. Do you remember that? He's a Democrat. And then Eric Adams, Democratic mayor of New York, also taking bribes from Turkey. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of luxury travel, hundreds of thousands of dollars of airline, first class tickets and hotels, that kind of thing, right? And then SDNY also prosecuted Hunter Biden. How is that? How during Biden's administration? How did you come up with they weaponized it against Donald Trump because the AG in New York actually was able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury who returned 34 guilty verdicts that he committed fraud inside his business? I mean, how do you get there from these facts? How do you get to weaponization of SDNY when these are the facts about what they prosecuted and who they were able to get verdicts against? I don't know. I guess, the algorithm is, filling their brains with, garbage, and they would rather believe the bad stuff. I guess believing the bad stuff about your country is easier than the good stuff. I guess that's it. It's sort of like it's easier to believe the bad stuff about yourself than it is to believe that you're a good person. How sad. How incredibly sad. Because these people hate themselves so much because it's easier for them. And they're addicted to hating themselves so much because that is the field of play for them, that anything that would celebrate them or anything that would show them civil rights or liberties have to be destroyed. Everyone has to feel as bad about themselves as they do. Wow. That's some foreign territory for me, okay? And I was not a good kid, okay? I really wasn't. But you sort of get over it. You grow up. You figure out what you can do well and you do it. You do that thing. Barbara in California.
Hi.
Hey.
I just wanted to let you know I'm calling you about POP. Prevention is the only protection for this country. In other words, preventing it only to protect it. One of the problems we've had, Amy, who is a senator, obviously in Congress, we have Democrats who are voting 8 out of the 13 confirmed nominations for Trump. That should not be.
Okay, let's bitch about the Democrats. Okay, let's do that. Kathy in New Mexico.
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
Great show. I just want to say, speaking about Clinton, I'm glad you showed those clips. But another person that thought ahead of his time was also Carter with his solar. If we would have listened to him a long time ago, we'd be in a lot better shape. But anyway, I just didn't know if you happened to catch J.D. Vance speaking in Munich.
Yes.
The way he berated and insulted the European leaders.
Listen, I don't understand.
Democracy to immigration.
Yeah.
It was just unbelievable.
He sounded like he was, coming straight from the Kremlin. I mean, why are we attacking our allies?
Exactly. I was so upset. And then I don't know if this is true because I didn't watch the entire clip or the entire speech.
Yeah.
But did he say that with American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg?
Yes.
Then he did say that?
Yes, and that because we could survive, 10 years of Greta Thunberg, we can take a couple of years of Elon Musk. And of course, the context that he was saying that in was that Elon Musk was interfering in foreign elections in places like Germany and Romania, and he was defending election interference by Elon Musk in Germany and Romania. He sounded like Putin's puppet.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Speaking up and expressing opinions isn't election interference.
Oh.
Even when people express views outside your own country, and even when those people are very influential. And trust me, I say this with all humor. If American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk. But what German democracy, what no democracy, American, German, or European, will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered. Democracy rests on the sacred principle that the voice of the people matters. There's no room for firewalls. You either uphold the principle or you don't.
Why is he insulting Europe for Elon Musk's algorithmic meddling in the German elections, where Elon Musk, as you saw, he gives the Nazi salute and everybody makes excuses. Oh, he's autistic. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's a genius. He's brilliant. He's everything. We have to give him $400 million more in taxpayer contracts, taxpayer dollars to buy those ugly freaking Cybertrucks. The algorithm is what's doing the speaking, not an individual outside of Germany. That is not what is, affecting elections in Romania. That is not what's affecting elections in the United States. The Facebook thing, the Cambridge Analytica scam, okay, where they sucked up all your information, you, your friends, and then your friends' friends, and they were exponentially able to ramp it up in time to put propaganda in front of people who psychologically, according to their algorithm, were susceptible to believing it. Like our friend in Idaho who started off our day. Like that. It isn't free speech. It's paid algorithms. That's quite a different thing. Russia meddling. Listen, here's the thing. Russia was a hoax. Really? Then why did Facebook get paid in rubles? Yeah, that happened. So, I mean, please spare me. And I don't want to hear from you anymore. Honestly, I don't. I used to try and listen to and suffer through your delusions and your fake facts and your manipulations and your, sad logic about I hate this person and therefore I'll cut my nose off to get rid of that person. I will hurt myself to get rid of that person. I will hurt myself to get rid of these kids or this man or that woman. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of your self-loathing and your self-hatred and your self-sabotage. Really, I am. Because what replaces democracy? You're so willing to give it away now. You're so willing to give it. 30 years ago, we had a balanced budget. 30 years ago, we had the biggest growth, the biggest expansion in American success, the largest GDP, the most amazing economy 30 years ago. And somehow getting rid of all of it is the answer to whatever it is that's bothering you now through unconstitutional means. So what replaces our Constitution? What does? A president who sees a guy with a taser, stick it in the neck of a police officer on January 6th, and tases a police officer in his neck and says, I'm pardoning that guy. That's what replaces it? Middle finger, baby. Mr. Tall Man, for you. Can you hear this? I'll turn it up for you if you want. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just get the hell out of my face already with this, because you are dangerous in your desire for, autocracy. Who do you think benefits in Russia? Russians? No, really, who do you think benefits from Vladimir Putin's leadership? I mean, if you disagree with him, you fall out of a window is what happens, right? If you disagree with him and you hold on to a doorknob, next thing you know, you're poisoned. You turn green and stuff. If you disagree, if you run against him, you die in a Siberian prison. Who do you think benefits? You think Russians have, disposable income? Do you think that? Do you think they get government aid and assistance? Do you? Do you think that? Because that's not happening. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in Hungary. It doesn't happen in Romania. It doesn't happen in Russia. Is that what you want for yourself? Well, then go there. Go there. Live there. Ask to be, to defect. And try it. But stop saying you want to bring that here. Stop saying that's better than the way we do things. Because there's some waste and because there's massive fraud that actually was committed by a Republican senator from Florida who was governor of Florida before he was a Republican senator from Florida and was the CEO of a giant healthcare chain, hospitals in Florida, and committed the largest Medicare fraud in the history of Medicare. And then you have the nerve to pretend that you're looking for fraud and waste and that Elon's your guy. What? Do you understand how ridiculous this is? Do you understand? Okay, good. Not only is it ridiculous, it's dangerous. And you're going to be left with nothing. And because there are people like me in this world who don't want you to end up with nothing, because then we're going to have to feel sorry for you, and that's the last emotion I want to waste on you. We're trying to prevent it from becoming real. And it's happening. It's on. This game is going. But you do have people bringing lawsuits. Suits that say what you're doing is unconstitutional, and you won't stand up for the Constitution. Even if I tell you that the lawyer is a tried and true conservative woman who served as a clerk for Antonin Scalia. Even if I tell you that, you don't care. Oh, that's pathetic. Claudia in California.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I'm a retired public school teacher. I've taught for 35 years. My mother and father are both elementary school teachers. And my mother taught kindergarten specifically for 42 years.
Wow.
And I just got to talk to that idiot from
Idaho.
Wherever he's from. Idaho, yes. And, I just have some advice for him. He needs to do some research before he goes broadcasting outright lies about education systems, especially in California. Because I feel like California, we're just the punching bag right now because we're good here. We have good things going on here. And, there's not a single word in the California curriculum that says that we are teaching kindergartners about sex. That is just appalling.
What's really appalling, though, is that, he doesn't understand that what he's watching on the TikToks and the YouTubes and the X's and the, that these are fake things, that these are, actors that are, trying. And that he's literally so upset about 0.2% of the population in this country total. And he's willing to, kick a child in the head, and cut his nose off to spite his face and say, and trash talk his own country and say, we're the worst in education. I got news for you. California is the 4th largest economy in the world. In the world.
Yes. And we're being kicked down the road because of it. We're being kicked, and we send so much money to these red states.
I know.
And we get no appreciation for it. But,
a thank you would be nice.
Thank you would be nice.
Yeah.
And before I go, could you do you know anything about the upcoming boycott? That there's going to be one on February 28th, and it's national. Do you know anything more about that one, and the one after it, and dating from?
What are we boycotting?
We're boycotting not spending any money.
Oh, yes. It's a national strike. I told you, we're going to hear a lot about national strikes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. I want to hear more about that because I think more people need to get
We'll
on
tackle
that.
it next week. I'm going to have a weekend. I suggest you do, too. Happy Valentine's Day to the lovers out there and to the haters. Happy Valentine's Day Massacre. Oh, my God.